It's finally here, sports fans. Chet Holmgren is fully healthy, Victor Wembanyama has got the Spurs jersey on, and we had ourselves a little duel here. Let's examine how these two are functioning on both sides of the ball so we can get a better idea on what to expect this season and beyond. After all, these long-limbed, guard-skilled, towering unicorns are the future, and it's clear that they will change the game of basketball. In case you don't know, Victor Wembanyama is listed at 7'4" and Chet Holmgren 7'1", but it's their wingspans that make them even more unique. And yet, they both have impressive guard skills, signaling a new era in extreme big men. Watch how Chet trails the break but then hits his man, a traditional 7-foot center and fellow Bulldog, with a drop cross jab step to the left before hitting him with a short hop gather into spin move. He starts the move straddling the free throw line and ends up 3 feet from the rim before getting fouled and earning free throws. Trailing to the top is where you'll see Holmgren spend most of his time, which is how traditional fives play. But to see him spot up with a shot fake, then drive, spin away from the help defense, and again cover 15 feet of ground to draw another foul is something we haven't seen much of ever. Wemby, on the other hand, plays much more like a wing player on offense, as he runs to the wing for the catch, hits Chet with a jab step, then through the legs, adding a little headbutt for good measure, and finishing softly through contact for the and one. We're already getting the social media rivalry going, and I love it. That said, this was a legit head-to-head contact, so Wemby needs to be careful about offensive fouls. Coming around for a pitch is also generally a guard-only skill, but he maximizes his length to get in the air and wrap this pass around the defender and somehow slip this ball to Collins, who earns some free throws. This got me very excited, seeing Chet bring the ball up like a point guard, then get the step-up screen to allow him to turn the corner. Great finish by pointing his shoulder into the defender, double pumping off the glass with great touch. I'm not ecstatic about the landing, however, and he needs to work on staying on his feet as much as possible. But Wemby doesn't let Chet get all the spin move glory. On the kick out, he also does a shot fake, and I like how he floats the dribble up before gathering it into the spin move. More options for his footwork. I need you to marvel at this creative expression. He takes off outside the restricted area off both feet, sees Chet there to block it, and just dips around him on the way down with the left hand soft off the glass. Mon Dieu! He gets into the act on defense with an absolutely perfect jump of the spin move at the moment a dribbler turns his back, then initiates the dribble behind his back before throwing a full-speed lob to the cutter like Chris Paul. More from that trail position. The reason Chet can break down players off the dribble is because they'll have to honor his catch-and-shoot game. He's got a very good rhythm as the ball is at shoulder height when the knees begin straightening into the jump for a pretty-looking jumper. And Chet is lucky he'll have Josh Giddey on his team, who can whip passes all over the court to open shooters, so expect Holmgren to shoot at least average on his threes. Speaking of which, when's the last time you saw a 7'4" guy cut directly from the basket to the top and just let it fly with a guy in his face? He's got good timing between his leg extension and arm swing as well, and this shot is perfect. And it gets better. Playing like a point guard, Wembenyama cuts out of the corner off a pin down into a handoff, inside hand dribble like guards are taught, and then the very unconventional left-right footwork going to the left, and he still drops the ball through the net. Wow. The Spurs and Thunder play 4 times this year, and you're going to want to see these two clash in person, so you must get SeatGeek, the best app to find tickets to any sporting event, concert, or the theater. With just a few taps, SeatGeek will scour the internet for the best deals out there, giving them a grade so you know what kind of value you're getting. They're rated #1 on Trustpilot amongst all major ticketers, so you can feel secure that your tickets are legit. Best of all, you can save $20 off your first purchase by using my code BBALL. So head over to SeatGeek now, and you can enjoy all your favorite NBA teams live and in person. Defensively, these two are quite different, as the Spurs seem to want Victor to play against smaller players, while Chet was playing the 5 exclusively. Imagine the possibilities as Wembenyama reaches in from one pass away and forces a steal. I certainly don't recommend getting in this kind of position, but it worked on this play, leading to a foot race between him and Chet that he wins with a throwdown. However, you could see him try it a couple of other times, and it did not have an effect on pro ball handlers. so he may have to tone this down a little bit. Meanwhile, Chet will be able to roam the paint a lot more while guarding big men, and he's already shown terrific ability to protect the rim with those long arms of his. Even when he falls asleep against his man, he can recover to pressure the miss, although I don't know how many legit NBA big men will miss like this. And the worry is that he'll get manhandled down low in the post like Zach Collins does here, lowering his right shoulder into Holmgren's chest, knocking him back a step, but Chet keeps his hands up and then erases the shot and recovers the ball. Big men will try and pin him under the hoop in transition, but he again thwarts the shot with a good contest. And while Collins is a solid big man, it remains to be seen what will happen versus other legit starters. Oh, and I love how he can bring it up and force the defense to take a foul on him for fear of giving up a dunk. Wemby also needs to learn right now not to hit a guy in the face after the whistle was blown. It was not malicious, but there's no point in getting anywhere close to Chet on this. Chet will have to deal with defending and drop coverage much more than Wemby, and it's not good enough to back up and swipe at the ball while the driver shoots an uncontested floater. And when he's on the weak side low block, he's got to register the drive earlier and get involved in the play both to contest the shot and get the rebound. He is a quick learner as he plays this one much better, and it's clear NBA guards will get very concerned when Chet is in good position with his drop. The Spurs coaching staff have to be concerned with what they saw on defense, considering they made a conscious choice to have Victor defend guards on the perimeter. They continually beat him off the dribble, forcing rotations that led to open shots around the court, or fouls on him or teammates that also should be a big concern. While this recovery was amazing to erase the shot, it merely hides the fact that he overran the play, and I just don't know if he's able to block the many players who can finish better than Jalen Williams. What you will see, I imagine, are players wanting to isolate out top and take advantage of the 6 feet of space Victor wants to give them, thinking he can contest anything with his long arms. But this is fraught with issues, like potentially fouling the shooter with his impossibly long legs begin floating back down to the court after contesting the shot. It took a while for the Spurs to even look at Wembenyama down low in the post, despite having severe height mismatches on these possessions. But when they finally started looking, he tried the pass fake around Chet, who didn't bite at all, but draws a shooting foul. And then 2 beauties to cutters that show his great vision and willingness to pass the ball from down there. While I love his one-footed three-pointers, I don't know how well it'll translate to post moves, as he tries a one-footed drop step over the help defender and can't get it to fall. I wonder if Chet will get to post up much at all. It looks like OKC wants him to stay above the free throw line and roll to the hoop. On the flip screen, notice how he turns his back to the ball to explode to the hoop. This is actually a quicker way to get below his man, and by turning his head quickly, he won't be blind to the ball as he acrobatically slams the errant pass through the basket in a stunning display of athleticism. Plus, he lands perfectly despite the in-air contact, a fundamental not enough players have mastered. His teammates are going to have to get better with their reads and accuracy or else put him in severe peril above the rim. This landing was also very good, falling on his butt to absorb the contact, but I am worried that he put his hands down like this. Because of his finishing ability off those rolls, he's going to pull the defender out of the way of the ball handler, so while he won't get an assist for this shot, check how Collins can't contain the drive for fear of the Chet lob. Even if the drop defender maintains good position on the ball and forces the miss, Holmgren shows us his great timing and touch to tip this in when no one picked him up. Both of these young, skinny guys are going to have to deal with getting muscled under the hoop, and over time, as they gain more strength in their base, you'll see less evidence of opponents easily pushing them around. But for this season, expect some issues if the refs are going to allow such overt dislodging. Watch for Wembenyama to leak out a lot, trying to get quick transition points. The problem is, he can leave his team exposed to offensive rebounds when the tallest guy in the league isn't anywhere near the basket. It could be a trade-off, but I'd be surprised if Coach Popovich lets him do it a lot. He might shy away from the physicality down there, so expect his defensive rebounding numbers to be modest. Overall, I'm not only excited about the individual accolades these two will no doubt earn, but could this be a rivalry that we've been longing for? Something like Magic and Larry 2.0. Lord knows, the league could use some of that fairy dust to generate more excitement, and once these teams start winning again behind their crazy talent, I'm sure people will flock to watch the future of basketball.